Being a hockey goalie might seem like the ultimate challenge. You're the last line of defense, the hero when you make a game-changing save, and the one blamed when things go wrong. But have you ever wondered what it's really like to be in that crease with all the pressure on you? The isolation, the pain, and the constant fear of failure can weigh heavily on even the strongest players. What's the hardest part about being a goalie for you? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Being a hockey goalie is like being the last line of defense between your team and defeat. While the players in front of you are celebrated for their goals and assists, it's you who takes the brunt of the blame when things go wrong. It's a job that requires not only immense physical skill, but also mental toughness that most people can't even begin to comprehend. When you're in net, the game is centered around you, but it's also a lonely, unforgiving role. The high-stakes pressure you face is like a constant storm brewing just beyond your crease. The worst part of being a goalie? Every mistake is amplified. You could have made 40 flawless saves, but that one missed shot, that one goal that slipped past you, is the one everyone remembers. It's like you're expected to be perfect every time. There's no room for error. Every time the puck is coming toward you, the tension rises. One slip-up, and it's on you. You're the hero when you make an unbelievable save, but when a goal is scored, it's your fault. You're the one who has to wear the weight of the loss, even if the team as a whole didn't play their best. The physical strain of the position is brutal. Goalies take hits that leave them bruised and battered, diving across the ice, blocking shots that can reach speeds of over 100 miles per hour. Your body is constantly absorbing impacts, whether it's a slap shot to the chest, a player crashing into you in a scramble, or the constant strain on your legs as you push yourself from post to post. It's not just about being quick and agile, it's about endurance. After each game, you're physically wiped out. But the worst part? The recovery time is limited. The next game is always just around the corner, and there's no time to fully heal. But perhaps the toughest part of being a goalie is the mental game. You're out there alone. When the puck is in play, it's just you versus the shooter, and the weight of the game rests solely on your shoulders. There's no hiding behind a teammate. You have to stay calm, even as the pressure builds. Every game is a battle not only against the opposing team, but against your own thoughts. You have to fight to stay focused, to not dwell on the mistakes you've made, and to keep your head in the game. The mental fatigue is real, and it can break you down, especially when the losses start to pile up. And it's not just the physical and mental tolls, it's the constant isolation. As a goalie, you're often the last player to get noticed unless you're pulling off a jaw-dropping save. You don't get the praise like the forwards who score the winning goals, and you're not part of the high-energy celebrations that come with a team goal. When the game ends, the rest of the team celebrates together, but you often slip away, reflecting on your performance. You're in the spotlight when you make a mistake, but when you succeed, no one is looking. It's a role that, in many ways, you're expected to do quietly and without fanfare. The uncertainty is also a huge part of the role. No matter how well you perform, there's always the risk of being pulled for the backup goalie or worse, being traded away. The spotlight is always on the forwards to score. But as a goalie, you could be the deciding factor in a game and yet still go unnoticed unless you screw up. It's a job where every loss feels like a personal failure. Even when the team is letting you down with poor defense or bad plays, you're the one who's expected to make up for it. It's a thankless job at times, and one where the mental pressure can be overwhelming. Being a hockey goalie is more than just guarding the net. It's about resilience, grit, and the willingness to sacrifice your body and mind for the team. But it sucks because it's one of the most unforgiving roles in sports. Every loss feels personal, and every goal scored against you echoes in your mind long after the game ends. The highs are thrilling, but the lows are crushing. When you step on the ice, you're fighting more than just the opposing team. You're fighting the pressure, the fatigue, and the weight of expectations. And in the end, it's all worth it for the chance to save the game, even if no one notices the work you put in unless you fail. The life of a hockey goalie is a paradox. You're the most important player on the ice, yet the one who gets the least recognition unless you're failing. It's an exhausting cycle of highs and lows, where the margin for error is so small it's almost non-existent. One minute, you're the hero of the game, making save after save and keeping your team in it. The next, you let in a soft goal, and suddenly, it's like everything you've done up until that point is forgotten. The mental toll of this role is immense. Every time the puck leaves the opponent's stick, you're thinking, "This is it. I need to stop this." And that pressure doesn't go away, ever. The worst part? The emotional roller coaster. As a goalie, you're constantly fighting to stay mentally sharp, but the mental battle is often the hardest. The silence before a shot, the noise as it hits the boards, the feeling of dread when the puck heads your way, the quick decisions you have to make in those split seconds. And then there's the aftermath. The goals scored against you seem to echo in your mind longer than the saves you made. Every goal you let in feels like a personal failure. Even if the team defense is lackluster, you're the one who's blamed. Your team can be terrible, but you're the last line of defense. And when things go wrong, the blame lands squarely on your shoulders. And then there's the constant physical toll. Goalies may not run up and down the ice, but they take hits that other players can only imagine. The pain is something you learn to deal with, not just from the constant collisions, but from the sheer physicality of the position. You take a puck to the mask, your neck hurts. You stretch for a save, your groin pulls. You drop to block a shot, your legs feel like they might snap. It's a career of repeated injuries and constant pain. Yet, you're expected to get up, dust yourself off, and do it all over again. And the worst part is, there's no one who'll rush to your aid. When you're down on the ice, it's all on you to get back up. But what's worse than the injuries or the mistakes is the isolation. When a forward scores, they get cheers and high fives. When a defenseman makes a big hit, they get patted on the back. When you make a save, most of the time, no one notices unless it's something extraordinary. When you're in the crease, you're essentially on an island. You don't get the same recognition for saving the game that others get for scoring the game-winning goal.
Sure, you might get the save of the game, but that's a rare occasion. For the most part, you're quietly holding everything together, hoping that when the final buzzer sounds, you did enough. And there's the constant looming doubt. Goalies are always compared to others, always held to higher standards. One bad season and rumors start swirling about replacements, trades, and backups. You live in fear of being benched, or worse, replaced. The uncertainty about your position in the team is always there, especially in a league full of talented, young goalies waiting for their chance. You're only as good as your last game, and that's a brutal truth to face. You could be one of the best goalies in the league, but a few bad games in a row can quickly cost you your job. It's a lonely job, too. You're a team player, but you often feel like an outsider. After the game, while the forwards celebrate and the defensemen bask in their glory, you're left alone in your gear, reflecting on the game. The camaraderie that exists for the other players is often absent for goalies. You can't help but feel like you're just there to clean up the mess that others make, and when you fail, you feel isolated in your struggle. But here's the kicker. Despite all the pain, all the pressure, and all the isolation, there's still that small, flickering sense of pride. Because when it all clicks, when you make those incredible saves, when you keep the score at 0, there's nothing like it. You know that, despite everything, you're the one who's holding the game together. You're the one who keeps the team in the fight. The stakes are high, the pressure is constant, and the cost is steep. But for those moments when you're the hero, it's all worth it. Because as a goalie, when you win big. And when you lose, it's on you. That's the double-edged sword of being a hockey goalie. But that's why it sucks.
It's not just the pressure, the pain, or the constant isolation, it's the emotional weight of carrying it all on your own. The highs may be exhilarating, but the lows are brutal. And in the end, you're never truly celebrated the way you deserve. You're just the last person in the line, waiting for the next shot, hoping you're still the one to stop it. In the end, being a hockey goalie is a constant battle, mentally, physically, and emotionally. You're expected to be perfect, but perfection is impossible. It's a lonely job, but the thrill of a great save can make it all worth it. So, what do you think is the biggest challenge a goalie faces? Let's keep the conversation going. Drop your thoughts and stories in the comments.